Such foreigners can go to any country to which their passport or travel document allows them to go. This applies similarly to the convicted foreigners in the $3 billion money laundering case. Thank you.
I have 3 supplementary questions for the Minister of State. First, on Part A, which is a general question on ICA's policy with regard to deportation of foreigners convicted in Singapore. From my past experience, it is quite normal for foreigners to be sent back to their home countries. I would like to ask MOS whether ICA indeed has this default guideline that, apart from any special circumstances, that we would deport the foreigner back to the country where the foreigner is a national. So that's the first question. So, example, if you're a Malaysian, you'll be deported to Malaysia. If you're an Indonesian, likewise, and so on. Second supplementary question is that on this recent money laundering case, out of the 7 who had been deported to Cambodia so far, at least 3 of them do not seem to be holding Cambodian passports. That's based on the information which I could glean publicly. That means out of the 7 deported to Cambodia, 3 of them do not seem to be holding Cambodian passports. So I wonder if Ministry can explain the choice, why they were deported to Cambodia, those who are not Cambodian nationals. Third question, out of the 10 arrested in this recent case, 5 were reported to be wanted by China, and they're holding Chinese passports. So my question is, why are they not being returned to China?
I thank the member for her questions. Maybe first and foremost, to start off with, the examples that she shared about previous instances could be a case whereby the subject did not hold multiple passports, and therefore the only country in which the subject could be deported to was the subject's home country. In this case, the 10 subjects hold multiple passports, and as I alluded to in my main reply, the foreigners can go to any country to which their passport or travel document allows them to go. On the second question that she had about 3 of them not holding Cambodian passports, I'm not aware of this situation. I would find that quite odd, because when we undertake deportation processes, we would look at whether or not they are admissible to the country of their choice. And that would include whether or not they hold a passport that allows them to enter the country. The third question you had was with regards to whether or not, the last question you had was why they were not deported back to China, right? As I mentioned earlier, the foreigners can go to any country to which their passport or travel document allows them to go. So for these 10 subjects, they had chosen to be deported to Cambodia or Japan, at least for these 10 subjects. Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker. 3 points. First is my analysis of who held what passports are based on the publicly available reports. So based on what I have discerned, there are 3 of them being deported to Cambodia that are not Cambodian nationals. So Ministry can contradict me if I'm wrong in what I found. Secondly, she mentioned that the offenders chose to go to those jurisdictions, Cambodia or Japan. So is she saying that the offenders have a right to indicate which jurisdiction they would like to be deported to? Because she used the word chose, so I'd like her to clarify that. Last of all, it was my understanding is that there is an extradition treaty between Cambodia and China. So I wonder whether she can or cannot confirm whether this was one of the factors taken into account in deporting 7 of these offenders to Cambodia.
For the avoidance of doubt, to be clear, convicted foreigners can go to any country which their passports or travel document allows them to go. So for the subjects that we are discussing right now, 7 convicts have been deported to Cambodia, while 1 convict has been deported to Japan. Specifically on your question on 3 of the subjects and as to whether or not they hold Cambodian passports, I can check back with my ministry on this point. I have shared what I understood about this matter in my earlier reply. Sorry, could I get you to repeat your last point again, please?
There were 2 more points, Speaker. The second one was about the fact that MOS mentioned that these offenders chose to go to Cambodia or Japan. So my question is, do offenders have a right to choose which country they would like to be deported to? So if I decide that I want to go very far away to Canada, can I just say that even if I have no connection with that country? So anyway, specifically on that case, whether they had a right to choose. And last of all, was the question of the existence of an extradition treaty between China and Cambodia, and whether that was one of the considerations which led to the government deporting 7 of these offenders to Cambodia.
To answer the second question first, whether or not there was an extradition treaty between Cambodia and China was not part of the decision-making process that the ministry undertook. I think what's important is that where subjects hold multiple passports, there is an assessment by the ministry as to whether or not they are admissible to the country based on the travel documents that they have. So I think we do not want a situation where we try to deport an individual and actually the country to which we are deporting the individual to does not accept the individual. Therefore, I think there is an assessment. Firstly, based on the passports that they hold, which are the countries they can be deported to. Secondly, obviously, if they have multiple passports, we would have to, well, whether or not the term is choose, I think we would have to decide, right, which country that they have the greatest likelihood of being admissible to. And we make that assessment, and then we successfully deport them. I hope that helps address your questions. Thank you.
Ms. Lim?
Last clarification, again on the issue of choice. Can the offender choose where to be deported to? And the government will accede to the choice?
MOSN?
I think you are using the term choice rather loosely because the offender can indicate which country he or she would like to be deported to, but it cannot just be, I choose and therefore I will be sent there. There needs to be an assessment by the ministry as to whether or not the individual can be admissible to the country based on the travel document that he or she holds. I hope that helps address the question. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for your indulgence. Earlier in my response to Ms. Sylvia Lim, I had shared with her that I would confirm the passport status of the 3 individuals that she had referred to. I have since confirmed with my ministry that the 3 individuals that she referred to do not hold Cambodia passports. However, they hold a valid passport or travel document that meets the admission requirement into Cambodia. From the ministry standpoint, our main focus is to effectively and quickly deport the foreigners once they have served their sentence, and that is why it is important for us to make an assessment of their admissibility into the country. Thank you.